YouTube, my name is Garland and today I will discuss some Battlefleet tactics to help you win naval engagements in Call of War. First thing you want to think about when building your battle fleet is state-based damage efficiency. So my fleets are set up at 864, so 8 destroyers, 6 cruisers, 4 battleships. This is one more than the maximum state-based damage efficiency you can get, which is 753. I do one more just in case I lose a ship. I don't have to send another one in to reinforce it. And also, your SBDE does not lower very much when you have one extra. So I think this is the best type of fleet you can go for a surface fleet. Of course, I don't have any carriers right now. I'm going to put a couple under construction. The basics of carriers is that it can carry aircraft, and aircraft are really good at spotting where the enemy is. So if you have a good carrier, you can spot what's on the island, give your ships air support, and if you have naval bombers, you can use naval bombers to detect enemy subs and allow your destroyers to hunt them down and kill them. I will go over carriers in detail in a later video, but basically they're good at spotting, and they're good at giving air support and providing a mobile air base. Right now, I'm just going to teach you how to use submarines to protect your battle fleet and how to use your battle fleet to decimate the enemy fleet. Always use your submarines as pickets, meaning they go first and they kind of sweep the area for enemy ships, because you don't want your battle fleet to get caught in a trap, as I will show you how to lay later, which lets your battle fleet engage enemy subs. Your battle fleet is caught attacking submarines, and your cruisers, battleships do very poorly against submarines, so their attack potential against surface ships is wasted if they're attacking submarines. So always have your submarines scan for enemy subs, enemy ships, and I have a destroyer cruiser squadron right behind them so that if my subs do engage enemy subs, I can split my destroyers off and send them to kill the enemy subs that my subs had engaged. And right now I have my destroyers and cruisers together because I know they have naval bombers, and destroyers are somewhat vulnerable to naval bombers, so I want to make sure that they're protected by my cruisers. Another thing to keep in mind is that my enemy has rockets. So I'm trying to destroy his ability to build rockets and attack the UK. We've been kind of in a rocket battle for the past week, so I'm very wary of his rocket potential, so which means I can't let my surface fleet get caught in a battle. Otherwise, he'll just pound them with rockets. So I gotta keep them moving. Can't let them get engaged, which is why I have my subs in front again. But also it means when I start attacking, when I start bombarding, let's say his cities, I can't afford to let him sit there and just bombard for hours. I have to bombard, and like using artillery, bombard and then move out of the way so that he doesn't have a chance to drop his rockets on my head. And I can afford to let my subs get hit by rockets, because rockets, as I will show you, they deal nothing to subs. So my subs are fine to engage, get trapped, and take the rocket hits. But Saskatchewan's a good player. He's not going to use rockets on my subs. He knows better. Whereas I have my own rockets, so if his surface fleet does show up and I can pin him with my subs, I can use my rockets on the surface fleet, which he's been building up over here. And also I can use my surface fleet to bombard him while he's trapped engaging my submarines. The worst thing that can happen to your fleet is if you get surprised. That's why I've been getting reveal alls on Saskatchewan using my military sabotage spies, which I will go over in a later video. But basically, I'm getting a lot of good intel on what kind of planes he has on Iceland, how many submarines he has, where his battle fleet is, and just what he's setting to reinforce, and what kind of troops he has garrisoning. This is extremely important because if I didn't get to reveal all, I would have no idea if he had these submarines in a picket across his coast, or if they were in groups of 8 about to charge my fleet. And fleets are extremely expensive to build and take a long time to build, so you can't afford to lose your whole fleet in a single engagement. You gotta be very, very cautious and smart with your fleets. Saskatchewan is bringing up 3 destroyers and a cruiser, and based on the dotted radius of where his ships will end up, my guess is that his submarine stack is within that dotted radius so that his cruisers can cover them if my subs were into his subs. So to defeat that, I'm going to bring up my battleships and outrange his cruiser. Force him to retreat, and then I'll send my subs after them. Alright, so I'm in pursuit of the small Saskatchewan fleet. He did gold out a couple extra destroyers, but nothing I can do about that. And a carrier would be helpful to shoot down this naval bomber, but I was in a rush, so I did it before my carriers were built. But I should be okay. I should still have the range advantage, and he'll probably have to retreat, in which case I'll just bomb his cities and then I'll leave. He's trying to draw me into making a mistake, which would be if I let my destroyers or surface ships go first and have them get pinned by his submarines. That'd be a mistake. So I'm trying to make sure that my subs are always in front, and if he engages my subs, then with his sub, then I'll kill his sub really fast because I got 16 destroyers nearby. And so I'm mostly just pushing him out. I don't think he'll engage because he knows he's outmatched because I have battleships and he doesn't. Saskatchewan managed to pin my surface ships because his subs, although they weren't in the same sea lane, they weren't in this sea lane. They were in this sea lane right here. And because of the closeness, they were still able to engage my ships, even though they were in separate sea lanes. So you have to watch out for that. I was not paying close enough attention, so I got trapped. But keep in mind that even if when your ships are in different sea lanes, distances like this or closer, they can still fight in a direct engagement. Alright, so now I'm retreating my fleet. And I made sure that I had subs on the waypoints so that I know where my clear line of retreat is. Because you definitely don't want an enemy sub stack to be sitting on a waypoint that you need to take in order to escape the engagement. Let this be a lesson that you cannot assault a gold user, because they will just pump out limitless supplies of units from their factories if they are close to home. You have to draw them into traps around your bases so they can't easily produce like 8 destroyers, 8 subs, and reinforce themselves. Now I'm trying to save what ships I can before his subs chase me down, so I'm leaving subs around waypoints to exclude him from cutting me off, and I'm also gonna send 2 subs to the rear to serve as a rear guard and sacrifice themselves to hold the subs back for another hour. Because subs are a lot easier to build than by battleships and cruisers and destroyers, so I want to keep them alive as long as possible. Okay, so I managed to get my battleships and cruisers out. I lost 8 destroyers and a whole bunch of submarines, as my submarines were the ones who were doing the brunt of the fighting, taking the hits, and basically serving as a pin on the enemy. They did their job. My ships can escape from the gold use of Saskatchewan. And now I have to rebuild. I have to rebuild my destroyer fleet and my sub fleet. And probably be much more defensive and have a large amount of rockets. And just have a lot more stuff next time because I have to be prepared if he golds again. Because I got my capital ships out, I should be able to rebuild my fleet relatively quickly. And if you want to see my rematch with Saskatchewan, and see how I use carriers to spot and aid my battle fleet, then please comment below and let me know. And thank you for watching. Please subscribe, leave a like, and comment any advice you have. I will see you on the battlefield.